everyone, and welcome to Dragon Quest Slime Time, a Dragon's Den podcast. This is your host, Liam.
And this is Pendy. Hey, Liam, I thought I would finally give this Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi a try. The official Square Enix Dragon Quest accounts announced a localization a long time ago, but I don't think it's happening anymore. Maybe I'll try Dragon Quest Champions while I'm at it, too.
Yeah, about that. So Square Enix just announced both of these mobile games are going to close.
Oh, Faith and Megora, what curses the goddess brought upon us this day? This isn't craic. What about me gold at the end of the rainbow? The look of the Irish has vanished.
Oh, goddess. Why do you always do this? I know your family has Irish roots and you just visited Ireland a few weeks ago, but Pendy, you're going to insult our guest.
I can't even keep a straight face. What was that? Amazing. Bravo.
Spot on. You actually thought he was from Ireland.
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell, man. I couldn't tell.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll be good now.
So in addition to our amazing video content, you may have seen or read about our next guest as a YouTuber who solved the lost Dragon Quest VII DLC in advance due to the official server sunsetting. Please join us in welcoming Gronya to the party.
Welcome, Gronya, and as with any new guest, we'll get to know them better. We saw that you are from Ireland. I was lucky enough to go to Ireland myself a couple of weeks ago. My dad and I stayed in Killarney and Galway and traveled all over the country. So what part of Ireland are you from?
I love Galway to bits, but I'm right next to Galway. I'm from Mayo, born and raised there, a very rural, culty kind of area. So I'm not used to cities in any regard, but I love Mayo. It's in my blood. I'm very proud to be.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I found out that a lot of, so my family comes from that part of the country, the Prendergast. So we're actually, a lot of us supposedly settled in that area of the country. So have you met other Prendergasts while you've been over there?
Oh, absolutely. I went to school with a few Prendergasts. Actually, I feel like, yeah, I won't say first names or anything, but
Right.
I remember I actually have a Prendergast story. Someone from that family was on a football team, and I used to do music gigs in a lot of pubs around Mayo. And I was doing a pub gig, and he was on the football team, and the whole team came in, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, it's going to be a rough night for me," because it was going to be super rowdy. I thought it was going to be really hectic. I was going to have to pack up my stuff and get out of there as soon as possible. But he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, my team just won. I really need you to do a song so we can all sing it together to celebrate." And I was like, "What song?" And he goes, "Can you please sing Love Story by Taylor Swift?" So I'm like, "Sure, yeah, I'll do that." So this whole team of like football players, Gaelic football players, start screaming every lyric to Love Story. It was actually such a heartwarming memory. I thought it was so wholesome. So that's my only Prendergast memory I have.
That's amazing. So are you a singer?
Yeah, I am. I've been doing kind of professional-ish music performances for the past 5 years. I was signed to a record label when I was 16. That didn't last very long. I ended up becoming independent at around 18. And then I was doing pub gigs and kind of hotel gigs. And recently I was doing a gig on a boat. There's a cruise near Mayo, and I usually sing on that cruise. And it's great crack. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes I perform with my friend Mervyn, and he plays saxophone. So we have a little band going. Good fun.
Oh, that's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, I love going to Irish pubs where there's music playing, and then sometimes the band just spills out into the next pub and just sits in a corner and orders drinks and plays music in the corner of the next pub that you go to.
Very common.
Yeah. So my mom is actually from County Cavan, a small village called Dowra. So I have a lot of cousins and family all over up in Glentees and Sligo and all over County Cavan.
Cavan's a beautiful county.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've been going to Ireland. It's been since 2013, so it's been about 11 years now. Kind of crazy since I was last, but I'm definitely due to bring the kids to see where their grandma is from. So looking forward to that someday.
Yeah. You'd have to eat at the Macneen House in County Cavan. It's a beautiful restaurant. So nice. Well worth
Awesome.
it.
Yeah, I've not heard of that. I'll look that up. So how did you first become a Dragon Quest fan?
So when I was 10 years old, there was this huge ad campaign in Ireland on RTE for Dragon Quest IX, and they used Jedward, that twin duo that were on the X Factor, to do ads for Dragon Quest IX. And at the time I was like 9 or 10 years old, so I was like, "Oh my god, it's Jedward and they're playing this cool video game."
Awesome.
So Christmas was coming around, and my parents actually had my fucking swore. my
That's all right.
Oh, you're good on this
Santa
podcast.
letter. Oh, great, because I'm too Irish for this. And I even wrote on my Santa letter Dragon's Quest 9, and my parents still have that letter to this day because they like to remind me of what they started. Because I got the game and I played it nonstop, and yeah, it just sparked a hyperfixation that's lasted like 20 years now, no, like 15 years.
Nice.
Yeah,
Did you get to play the multiplayer at all?
No, I didn't, which was really disappointing because nobody I knew got the game. So I was just playing it on my own a lot. I'm trying to see if I can get the emulation thing working to play it online again.
Yeah, I think Osneravar from the Dragon's Den has a guide for that.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm really interested to try it.
I think a while back we were talking about getting an episode together to try and do that.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah, maybe this summer when I have a little bit more free time, we can get something going. It'll be pretty fun to do that, and then
That'd be awesome. I'd love to.
try to record an episode while we're playing it.
Yeah, those commercials were hilarious because I didn't know they existed until maybe a couple years ago because those, were they brothers, Jedward?
Yeah, they were twins.
Twins. Yeah, nobody,
Yeah.
they had no presence in America whatsoever. So I'm like, who are these guys? But apparently they were really popular in the UK and all over. So I was like, oh,
I
okay.
think they're from Mayo, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Not
Interesting.
100% sure on that. I'm pretty sure they're from Mayo, and they got famous on the X Factor. And I think as a kid, they were just so like, what's the word? I don't know, kind of flamboyant and exciting. So it was really great for kind of kids to get into their music, especially when they're in the Eurovision and all that.
Yeah, very
It
high
was just
energy. I
fun.
remember that.
Yeah.
hmm
Nowadays, they're actually really inflammatory online. They're going after their old management. They're going after the Taoiseach and the government, calling them out constantly.
wow.
It's a big turn of events, and it's very interesting to watch.
Different type of entertaining.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, we got Seth Green over here in America, and you've got the Jedward twins just going nuts over Dragon Quest 9. It was interesting to see that.
Yeah, I was going to mention Seth Green. It's really amazing. They did a huge push for like celebrities. I just didn't know that they were doing that in other countries as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, did you see that PR event they had when they had all the Nickelodeon and Disney kids play Dragon Quest 9 and Dylan and Cole Sprouse, Victoria Justice, Quest and Dragons and whatnot?
The guy from the Big Bang Theory was there.
Oh my god.
Oh, I play Sheldon. Oh, Jim Parsons.
Yeah, Jim Parsons. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's funny just to see all these celebrities holding the game, and you're thinking, man, did they even play it? They just they just show up, do a photo op, and get paid and go.
Yeah. Oh, that video is iconic because you just see these cast members coming on being like, yeah, I love Dragon Quest. I love it when I'm on Shake It Up, that TV show I'm on. You should watch that. It's on Disney Channel. But I love Dragon Quest. I love the dragons in it. It's great.
Right.
And the questing, it's entertaining.
Dragons and the questing.
Very entertaining.
Well, speaking of dragons and questing, what is your favorite mainline Dragon Quest game?
This is actually a really tough one, and it's funny because I'm putting a video out on Dragon Quest Day, like ranking all the Dragon Quest games I've played. And I ended up concluding that I literally could not pick between Dragon Quest 9 and Dragon Quest 11. Like both those games just have such high sentimental value to me, so I can't seem to just. They're so different to me. I love them both for such different reasons, but at the same time, I also say things like that Dragon Quest 8 could objectively be the best Dragon Quest game, but so could 5. I end up jumping back and forth between like getting hyperfixated on one of the games, but I think my definitive answer would probably be 11 because I feel like it's the most well-rounded Dragon Quest game with a little bow on top. It seems very complete.
Yeah, there's a massive amount of character development going on with everyone, and it's a huge amount of characters. Even the villains.
And visually, it's just wow, and so just all the extra features and everything. I think. And I have a huge sentimental value with Dragon Quest 11 because when I first got sick with Crohn's disease and I'd be in and out of hospital, I'd always bring my Switch Lite with me and I'd just be playing Dragon Quest 11. So it ended up becoming such a safe space for me that I feel like for sure it's most likely if I really had to pick between Dragon Quest 9 and Dragon Quest 11, I'd probably pick 11.
Nice. When you were in the hospital, were you actually playing it for the first time or was it a replay?
Kind of a replay, kind of finishing it. So I played... When I was getting sick to begin with, I'd spend most of my time just in bed at home. So I'd be playing it on my PlayStation. And then when it started becoming more frequent trips to the hospital, I got it on Switch so I could play it then. So I replayed it, but finished it
Nice.
to completion on Switch.
I'm trying to imagine you like laughing in the hospital room and the nurse is like walking by for some of the more comedic elements of the game.
Oh, dude, when I was in hospital, I was playing Dragon Quest and I had a nurse come in and he was Japanese and he was saying like, "Oh, you're playing Switch. What are you playing?" And I was like, "I'm playing Dragon Quest." And he was like, I prefer Octopath Traveler."
Jesus.
I
Wow.
was like,
That's a
damn.
first.
Yeah. Then he took all my blood.
So on that note, what's your favorite Dragon Quest spin-off game?
I have a really controversial opinion on this. My favorite spin-off game is the first Dragon Quest Heroes.
Oh,
And I know
that's not that controversial.
I feel like from what I've seen, a lot of people prefer the second one.
I mean,
And
that's for the most part.
yeah, and I just found the second one really frustrating. And I actually dive into this a lot in my next video because I'm mainly just giving out about the weird daily perks that were in the kind of online mode of Dragon Quest Heroes 2, where I almost felt like dissuaded from grinding or anything because like, oh, it's not Wednesday. I'm not going to get as many metal slimes on a Wednesday when it's not Wednesday, so I'm just not going to bother. This was enraging. So I just like how simple the first one is. It's very to the point. It's just, okay, beat up these guys. You're good. Have fun.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
only-
great memories of the first one with the Gigantes challenge at New York Comic Con.
Oh, and Bjorn. Can't beat Bjorn.
Yeah, they had a challenge where if you beat Gigantes, you get your picture taken with Helix, and they had the Helix
Oh.
plush from the web channel from that promotion and everything, and you got a number, like for the number of people who've done it and stuff. And it was pretty challenging because early on you're low level, so you don't have a lot
Yeah.
of strength to take them down. It takes a while, and a lot of people were failing and kind of rage quitting and walking away, which is probably not their intent, but it was still a lot of fun. It was a great memory for that game.
Yeah, I like that dynamic between the main two protagonists in the game as well. I thought they played off each other very well, which I thought was entertaining.
Yeah.
So, Gronya, what's your favorite Dragon Quest monster in the series?
Oh, I kind of have two. I really like the Sham Hat Witch just because it's very, very cute. And I also love the Ant Guzzler because, especially in the new Dragon Quest monsters, he just looks so skeegey. It makes me laugh every time I see him. So between those two, for sure.
I know there's a plushie for the Sham Hat Witch.
I'm going to start hunting now.
So what's your favorite Dragon Quest character?
I have a few. I really love Rab in Dragon Quest XI. I feel like his whole development is super just wholesome and heartwarming. But I also love the kind of like eccentric energy that Sylvando brought to Dragon Quest XI. But I also love the kind of strong female characters that are in Dragon Quest games like Elena, Jade, Ashlyn, Millie. There's so many of them, and I really like how every single character in Dragon Quest games are super unique. They have their own personality. It's never a cut and paste kind of design. It's every character has its own. It's almost like they're a real person. They have a huge history behind them.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You don't often think about that, but every single character is unique.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like there's a lot of like, especially with female characters in Dragon Quest, there's characters that they're masculine and they're powerful, but there's also characters who are really feminine and powerful, and it's kind of showcasing that it's okay to be either or, and that's just something that a lot of games I feel like don't do as often, and I just really like that about Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Elena is actually my favorite character in the series.
I love Elena. She's brilliant.
I was a little upset by the voice acting at first, but then I kind of just got used to it in Dragon Quest Heroes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard
fun.
to place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, at some point, because I mean, I grew up with Dragon Warrior 4 for NES, and that's still my favorite NES game. And you kind of just have to. There aren't really accents in that game, so you just kind of have to imagine what the character sounds like. So then, when the remake comes around and they made her Russian, I was like, huh. Okay, and then the voice acting came out for Heroes, and I was like, this is nails on a chalkboard. This is not what I was expecting. But then,
I actually love Tornico's voice acting in Heroes. It's
they made him Irish.
It's very Mayo, and I really like that.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
very
amazing.
coaching.
Yeah, it's too funny. And they and Ragnar is now Ragnar McRyan, the he's
Scottish, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Scottish.
Yeah.
Got it. That's probably a lot of people's what people get frustrated over with the DS version of how they try and write it in like a Scottish accent, and a lot of people get lost trying to read it.
Yeah, it was really thick.
Yeah.
That's a rough
The
way to
phonetics
start.
on Ragnar's chapter was a tough one, I won't lie.
Yeah.
So what about game mechanics? So like, do you have a favorite one, such as like casinos, job classes, monster collecting, etc.?
I really loved I know it's only in Dragon Quest IX, but the procedurally generated grottos.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I was
Most
obsessed
definitely.
with those. And I also love the monster tournaments in Dragon Quest VIII.
Mm.
They're just
So-
super fun, and you could really find yourself just playing for hours and hours without realizing the time going by, just because it's very engaging.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I loved how you could take your team on the road and use that as an attack in battles, which I thought was great.
Oh yeah, the recruitment was amazing in DQ5.
Oh, that was good too.
Oh yeah, when DQ8, I forgot all about how you could use them in battle because
Yeah.
I didn't use it as much, but I forgot how like beneficial it was because it just gave you a few extra rounds. It could really mean like life or death in that game.
Oh yeah, gave you that extra attack, and it could be pretty powerful depending on what you had.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think the 5-piece combo in Keshi Keshi for the hero from Dragon Quest VIII is 3 monsters jumping in and like beating up whatever you're attacking.
Oh, that's funny.
That's cool.
So I saw this video that you posted on your Dragon Quest display with the dragon silhouette art on the wall. So how did you actually do that? It looks incredibly accurate for Toriyama's style.
So how I did that was you know the logo for Dragon Quest 11?
Yep.
There's kind of like that dragon silhouette in the background. So what I did was I just kind of zoomed in on that. I put it into my art program, and then I just kind of filled in the blanks, took the actual logo out, and then just traced around what I could, then filled in extra details where I needed to. And then once I had that just image, I used a little cheap projector to project it on the wall. Then I just drew around it and then filled it in with paint.
Oh,
It
that's
was a long
awesome.
project, but I'm really, really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
I love it.
That's the perfect background, and it complements your little slime cover on your microphone too.
That was actually my friend. I call him Wheels because he makes me call him Wheels. He's quadriplegic, but it's
Oh,
his nickname for himself. But he came up with that idea to make a slime mic cover, and it was so smart. And when I made it, I was just crying laughing at it.
it was
And now
perfect.
he can't watch any of my videos without laughing at whenever like I naturally just tilt the mic away, so the mic's head is just like slowly moving during the video. He can't focus on anything else.
I remember seeing one of the videos where like, oh, just hold on a minute, I got to turn the slime around.
Yeah, yeah.
That was good
My
stuff.
friend Beals is he's so funny, but I will say it's his idea. He's very intelligent and very, very funny.
Nice. Nice. So I know by the time that we will have edited this, that we'll know the truth about what the announcements are. But what are your predictions for this year's Dragon Quest Day?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Part of me really hopes to hear about Dragon Quest III remake. And maybe something with Dragon Quest 12, but I really doubt that. I think my money's on Dragon Quest 3 remake for sure. But then again, I've been disappointed about 3 years in a row now.
It has been a long time since they announced it.
Yeah, I'm hoping for
It was
something.
a long time.
Because they
Yeah.
did say
Maybe-
a while ago that Yuji Horii was playtesting it, so they got to be close. So hopefully, maybe
Yeah.
they'll say something today. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, maybe at a pinch, I feel like we might get Dragon Quest X offline in the West. I just have a weird hunch that they have to be doing something with that.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
not
Because
sure.
I mean, they are bringing it to Korea and to Taiwan. So maybe some
Yeah.
other, or even even if they did Southeast Asia region, then that would mean we could import it in English, because they'll put anything that goes to Southeast Asia will also be in English. So that'd
Yeah.
be great too.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
I'd take that.
Pendy,
So
how
you
about you? Do you have any predictions?
Yeah, I think they might say something about Dragon Quest 3. That's my money is on that as well. I would agree with Gronya that they'll probably say something about it. It's been so long.
I know.
There's got to be something going on. And this would be like a great day to finally say like, hey, this is what's going on, or here's a video or something. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's why I think if there's anything they're going to do today, anything important, that would be it.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah.
see a character reveal for 12.
Oh,
Oh,
brilliant.
wow.
Because we've gotten, it's been how many years since the 35th, and we've only gotten logo updates. So
Yeah.
it's not much to go on. It would be nice to see something of what's going on.
Dragon Quest have announced they're adding 5 more pixels to the logo. Slightly redder now.
Special edition.
now with more fire effects in the background.
Thank you, Square Enix. I've been waiting for this.
Oh, amazing.
Now let's get into your YouTube channel. Where did you learn your editing skills? I really enjoy how you cut everything around for comedic effect. It's hilarious.
So it's kind of a tough one because I've been kind of playing around with editing software since I was like 11 or 12. But
Ah.
I really kind of picked it up when I got this app on my phone, a Light Motion. So
Mhm.
it just taught me a good bit about keyframing and everything. So then I switched to DaVinci Resolve when I started making YouTube videos, and it's a very user-friendly program.
Mm.
So
Nice.
most time if I was like, I just kind of think, I want to do this effect. How could I do that? Type it into YouTube, DaVinci Resolve at the end of it, and there's some tutorial out there for it. So I just kind of pick up the skills as I go along.
Awesome. Is that a paid version or is that free?
Oh no, it's free. It's
Oh,
brilliant. You
wow.
get so much in it just for free.
Hmm.
There is a paid version, but I don't think I'll ever need it because there's so much in the free version.
Awesome. So both Pendy and I have outstanding projects for Slime Time that we need to learn editing software for to complete. So
I don't know what you're
DaVinci is
talking.
very user friendly.
You don't know
That's-
what I'm talking. I
I
have a
don't know.
lost.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a lost episode that I recorded, and then Pendy and I went to Dragon Quest Island last year and stayed at the Dragon Quest Hotel. And we have all this like video footage and photos and everything. We recorded the episode, but audio only, and Pendy was supposed to edit all that together. And here we are, Dragon Quest Day. Pendy, you got a surprise episode for us?
Sure. No. But that's my project for May and June is to finally finish that after a year. We just had hundreds of photos and I just never got the chance to just put everything together. So
Yeah.
I actually have some free time coming up in the next month or so. So I'll finally be able to put that out there. Hopefully.
I can't make fun of you though because I have an entire episode that I filmed with Luchadork last
That's right.
summer about Dragon Quest merch, and it's all video, and he's showing off a whole bunch of merch, and I enjoyed it very much, and need to spend some time putting that one together. But yeah, I appreciate the feedback on that. I will definitely look into it.
Yeah. Slime time, procrastinator quest.
Yeah. Procrastination quest. So the first video of yours that I saw was the Dragon Quest Year Story review. I found it fair and balanced. I didn't particularly like the movie ending, to put it mildly, but
Mm.
I know that a lot of Western Dragon Quest fans did. So to hear you put it in terms that potentially offends those who accepted or forced themselves to accept the ending in honor of their love of Dragon Quest V, I think it needed to be said. So how do you typically like to plan the approach when it's a subject where you have an opinion about a Dragon Quest game or media that you're not sure how the audience is going to take it?
That's a tough one. Like, I think at first it took me so long to actually release that video to just to make it public. I was so scared that I was just going to get like serious backlash for critiquing the movie. So I ended up I actually sent the video to Sack Chief and I sent it to another person in the Dragon Quest community to get their review on it to see what, based on their experience with the community, what they would think about the video. And they both said it was very balanced and that I wouldn't get many like bad responses for it. And I didn't. Vast majority of people agreed with me, especially like people who weren't into Dragon Quest and watched the movie with me. They were enraged by the ending. They were like, what is this? Like, you just ruined the whole thing. I was enjoying this and you just took me out of it. And
Pendy, you saw it in Japan, right?
Yeah.
What was the Japanese reaction to it again?
It was, I didn't see it with a lot of people because I saw it like in the morning viewing of it. But the few people that were in there in the theater, you could just kind of feel a collective gasp of what the heck was that? And my wife who watched it with me later on Netflix, she enjoyed it for the most part. But then, even she was like, that was a weird ending. Okay, sure. So it can take people aback for definitely the way
I watched it with my dad and he was just happy that Bjorn came back at the end.
Yeah,
that's the only thing he cared about.
That was an amazing reveal. It was even cool to just see him tamed, to see him become a party member. Yeah.
Now, what inspired you to have your first video be about Dragon Quest Your Story in the first place?
Because I wanted my first video to be on a deep dive into Dragon Quest VIII, but then I realized that would be like a Quentin Reviews level length, like 8-hour video if I wanted to make it the way I wanted to make it. And the film is a lot shorter than any of the other Dragon Quest games. So I was like, I can cover this fairly quickly. It's still half an hour video. So I'm hoping to get into deeper projects with like pure deep dives into the development, the stories, and everything into actual Dragon Quest games such as 8, because I think it's the 20th anniversary of 8 this year.
Mm.
So that is going to be a big project, but I'm hoping that'll get done before the end of the year.
Oh, that'll be cool. That'll be interesting to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch the videos that you've put out there so far. It's always good to have someone new in the YouTube community to come up and do more content, because at first we didn't really have that much, but we've gotten more and more people recently in like the last year or so that have been doing more
Yeah.
videos and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to watch.
And
I'm
not
really
just
happy
that,
to
but
see more Dragon Quest content come out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
and
See the
excellent
grouch
content.
clear up.
Yeah, like excellent content as well. Just engaging and charming and fun to watch. So before I knew what was involved in this project, I saw your posts about grinding Super Kiefer, and my first thoughts were, oh, that's really cool. But then I was like, wait, we know what happens to him, so why would you want to do that? But after seeing your video, it all makes sense now. Can you give us a summary about your role in pulling the DLC and how long it took?
Yeah, so basically when I got out of hospital, I spent 2 weeks in hospital because like essentially my bowel from the Crohn's had just essentially worn away. I had so many ulcers. I hadn't eaten in about 2 weeks. So I lost about 10 kilos. I was really, really sick. So when they let me out of hospital, it was like, okay, on the one condition that you stay in bed and you drink your diet supplements and everything, you gain weight back, but don't move too much. So I was going crazy out of my mind resting in bed, especially being on high dose of steroids to settle the inflammation. So I was on Twitter. I saw that Sack Chief was basically making a call to action about Dragon Quest VII's DLC, being taken off the servers. But when he mentioned the Super Kiefer stuff, I literally looked at it and I was like, nobody is going to do that. That's just not happening. I guess Dragon Quest VII servers are just going to be gone. Oh well. What will we do? And then I slept on it. And then I woke up at like 4 a.m. and I saw a tweet again. And then I was thinking, God, if anyone's in a position to do this, it's me, isn't it? I literally have nothing to be doing for the next couple of weeks. And I remember I literally looked at my DS, looked at my phone, looked at my DS, and I went, fuck's sake. And I just turned on my DS and started. And it took a long, long time. A lot of the time though was kind of non-contact time, because I was able to set up my DS in a way where I can just put a hair tie on the Joy-Con and stick everything together so Keith would keep walking after I got the elevating shoes, which give him 2 XP per step.
Yeah. I saw that part of the video too.
Yeah, but I think I'd still put a huge amount of time into it, because sometimes I would just manually run because it's faster to run than to walk.
So you found that little nook where the monsters generate
Yeah.
outside the nook and you can't get in. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I was so proud of myself for finding that, because I was just running around Burnmont, I think is the name, Emberdale, for ages, and I was actually starting to lose my mind a bit, because I'd just been doing that for 4 hours straight, just running in a circle, trying to distract myself with TV, but you couldn't take your face off the screen for too long because you would encounter a monster then.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like that, Chinese water drop torture. I was like, God help me. I was like, I need to figure something out here. And I was just looking at the map and I was like, hold on, there's a little nook in there, there's a little crevice. I was like, and if I walk in a circle instead of run, it's a smaller circle. And I went to the crevice and I just did a trial run where I just walked around a circle. And I was like, the monsters aren't spawning. Set up the hair tie and the blue tack. And then I was like, oh my God, I've done it. I've done it. They're not going to spawn. I could literally just leave this for days until I get to level 50. And that's what I did. And I was thrilled. So I could go back to living my life. I'd be out in town with my friends, and they're like, because at this point I was able to leave the house a bit more, at least for a few hours. It wasn't very safe for me to leave the house too often because of my immune system. But if I wore a mask and sanitized my hands, I could go visit a friend or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be there and they're like, oh my God, you're out of the house. And I was like, yeah, I'm out of the house. I was like, because I don't have to do anything. And they were like, and it's like they were following me. They're like, what level is he now? I'm glad for that.
Amazing. How many days did it take for him to get to walk his way to level 50?
I think it was 5 or 6, maybe 6 days.
Wow.
Just constant.
My poor DS. I think the battery's a bit worn in it now. And there's blue tack under the joystick. It's taken a beating. So once I got there, I decided to celebrate. I bought myself the Dragon Quest Nintendo 2DS, because I was like, you know what? I think I've earned this for myself.
Nice.
Oh, is that the liquid metal slime one?
Yeah, I was so happy when it was I was like, this is a beauty. It's a trophy.
Amazing. So, were there any other like huge challenges that you had in taking on this project, or was that the biggest one, just trying to figure out how to get Kiefer leveled up as fast as possible?
That was the main one. Mainly just the running around Emberdale and trying not to go mental. And yeah, like it was a really needed project because I was just so stressed because I was trialing a new medication at the time and it was just approved of literally a few months ago. So I was like, and my doctor was kind of saying like, this is kind of your last chance. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to just remove the bowel because I don't know what else we're going to have to do. So I was like, God, I need this to work, but I can't be thinking about it working because stress will make it worse. And I was so thankful because as soon as I finished the project, I did a test and I found that my inflammation levels had like gone down 4 times. So I could potentially say Dragon Quest helped my Crohn's, but it wasn't really. It was the new meds. But,
there you
Miracle
go.
from the goddess.
as far as challenges go, I think it was mainly just the leveling up and oh god, the tombola.
Yes.
The tombola actually left an impact on me because it was a few weeks later. I was watching TV with my boyfriend and an ad came on for some gambling site and I was half falling asleep on the couch because it was late at night and the lady on TV was like, try your luck at the tombola, and my head just shot up. I was like, what? Where is it? And my boyfriend was just laughing so much. He was like, oh my god, you're actually traumatized by this. But I say the tombola was the hard one, for sure.
That's right, because you needed what the gold ball
The
to be
gold
able to
ball
get the
elevating
shoes.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had to like go in, do the tombola, and if it wasn't a gold ball, restart the game, reload the save, go back into town, go straight back to the tombola. And I had a limited time and I didn't know how long it was going to take. So I was like, I'm just going to have to sit here all night and see if I can get it because I'm not going to do the other method, which is just going to all the islands and hoping that you get lucky with the monsters. Which in the guide, Ignacio's guide, he was saying like, even if it takes you really long to get these elevating shoes, it's still going to be faster than going to other islands or trying to street pass it. And so it took about 9 hours. I think it was like 5 in the morning when I finally got the gold ball, but I was over the moon. There was a lot of moments of pure elation in that project because there's so many moments where you just feel like a winner, and there were so many firsts because Danny did the project after me, but at the time I don't think anyone else had done it, so I was just like, this is such a unique Dragon Quest win. It just felt very rewarding, and it was really nice when Danny took up the project as well because then I was able to share that with someone
who also had tombola trauma.
Yeah.
Share that with.
Yeah. Can you not over that?
Trade war stories. So what exactly is the process for getting the DLC? How do you transfer that?
So you need a hacked 3DS with Checkpoint installed, and from there it's very, very easy. Like it's easy enough to hack a 3DS. So once you have Checkpoint installed, I just put the cartridge in, then literally there's already just a button to load your save onto the app, and then once I'd done that, I just took the SD card out, put it into my computer, and took the save files out and uploaded them. And
Awesome.
After that, to get them onto someone else's cartridge, they just need to have Checkpoint as well. Put the save files onto their SD card into Checkpoint, and then just load them onto their cartridge. There's a whole tutorial that Sack Chief made about it, which is really easy to follow.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll
Nice.
definitely have to link to that.
Yeah. So the story of your project was picked up by several news sites, and your video now has over 14K views. So how do you feel about all the attention that you've gotten recently because of this?
Oh, the day that like Games Radar put out their article, I actually felt a bit sick. I felt like I wasn't very deserving of that praise, especially because I wouldn't have done it if Sack Chief hadn't made the call to arms and hadn't specified this is how you do it, and if it wasn't for Ignacio's guide, and also the fact that Danny was working just as hard as on this project and they weren't getting the same amount of praise. And as well as that, a lot of people were spelling their name wrong in all the articles, and it just made me feel super guilty. I've got a lot of imposter syndrome, and I was like, I don't deserve this. This is freaking me out of it. And I felt like, you know, what if they're just like, especially because I don't know, it's a complicated thing to describe because it's a very unique situation. And a part of me felt like because I hadn't just made it very simple, you couldn't just, you know, oh, you just download the DLC onto your save file. You have to download my save files to do it. A part of me felt like were people just going to see that and be like, well, she's a fraud. She didn't really preserve them. She preserved save files, but not the DLC. And I was thinking about all the ways that I could it could go wrong for me. And then when I put out a video after that, with all the attention that my channel had gotten, the boost in subscribers, I got like 1,000 subscribers in a week. I was just so anxious. I was like, what if they hate this video? What if this is awful? What if, I've overcome a lot of that anxiety now, and I'm just learning to just be like happy about it all. Like, hey, it was a really good thing. And a lot of people were calling me like a female Erdrick, and that I made Dragon Quest history, which was freaking me out a bit. I was like, oh no. I don't think I did. All I did was form a trauma bond with Kiefer and the word Tombola.
Well, I know Ignacia and the Den got a lot of traffic out of it, so that actually, Woodis was telling us like so many more people are coming to our site now because we got the mentions as well. So I know we got to share in that a little bit as well.
Yeah. Ignacia is actually the person I've known in the Dragon Quest community the longest, and I've known him for,
and his guide was brilliant, so brilliant.
Yeah, he's well known on the Den for these massive posts on the forums that these like TLDR responses, but they're so detailed and amazing. And he's actually written a couple of game facts as well. I remember his for Dragon Quest VI, I think it was. So before we go, do you have any future videos you'd like to preview for us?
Oh, yes, I have a video coming out tomorrow, which is my tier list of all the Dragon Quest games I've played, which includes a few of the spin-offs. Basically, it might be more controversial than the movie video because I especially dig into Dragon Quest Heroes 2. I'll actually link it to you guys after the recording stops because it should be out tomorrow evening. But I'm really happy with the editing in this one. I put so much time into the editing this one. It's a shorter video, but I think the quality of it has gone up. And I think it was just fun. I hope people view it as just like a lighthearted kind of roast of some of the Dragon Quest games and praise at the same time, because I go between praising and kind of roasting the parts of the game that I didn't like as much. But what I like about art and media is that like you get to see both sides of it. You get to be like, well, you can love something but also critique it, and that's the same thing I applied to the film. I love that movie, but it made a very bad decision with the ending, and there's a lot of it that's so bizarre to me. Like, not enough people talk about Luca just taking a drink from a stranger in a bar. Just the whole stranger danger thing around Luca just baffles me, to be honest. Pancras has some answering to do, that's all I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, that whole intro where they just rushed the entire first third of the game.
I was getting anxious. I was getting sweaty watching that. I was like, I just finished playing this game, but do I remember everything? I felt like being quizzed.
It probably could have been a trilogy, but at the same time, would you have wanted that same ending for a trilogy? That would have made it worse.
If it was a trilogy and they ended it like that, yeah, I would have written a letter.
Well, that's all for this episode of Slime Time. Gronya, thanks you so much for coming to talk to us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
And a special thanks to our listeners out there, whether you're here for Gronya or you're a regular listener or both. We hope that you like what you hear and stick around for more episodes. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Gronya's YouTube channel if you haven't already. She's building a lot of great Dragon Quest content packed with natural wit and charm, and there's lots more to come. We highly recommend it.
Praise be, as we're a non-profit podcast, we won't pull the official server support on your hard-earned money when we can offer you quality craic for free. But if you do have some extra cash and you'd like to donate anything to a website that's been supporting Dragon Quest fans for over 25 blessed years, drop by the Dragon's Den by clicking the link in the show notes. There are several ways to support the Den, including the affiliate links that don't cost you anything extra when making other Dragon Quest purchases. All you lads and lassies out there, it's perfect. It's brilliant.
I see you dipped into Pirate Pendy for a little bit there. All right. Anyway, we even have a Slime Time t-shirt that was designed by our recurring host and resident artist, Dwayne. You can find the link for it in the show notes.
For comments or questions, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at DQ Slime Time.
Join in tons of DQ discussions at the Dragon's Den forums on Discord and the Dragon Questers and Slime Time Facebook group.
Please like, subscribe, and write a review for the podcast. It really helps us to promote and grow the show.
Dragon Quest Slime Time, sliming off.
This is Gertrude for Slime Time, reminding you all that you must complete your adventure.